word evil's not that big a deal, is it?
My question for you is, why would you pick that song where you've got to say evil that many times?
It was Lieber and Stoller. I didn't know any of the songs on the list. Okay. And the song that I knew that I wanted to do, Haley did, I Who Have Nothing. That morning, we met with the vocal coaches to pick some songs. I narrowed it down to Jackson, I Who Have Nothing, and Jailhouse Rock, I believe, which Jailhouse Rock didn't work out because it didn't really show off my voice. That would be a better song for Scotty.
Yeah.
And then Jackson was a duet, and Haley did I Who Have Nothing. So literally, I had to go to school. I had to leave that meeting because I had to go to school.
Right.
So I had no song. I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And I got there and went up to Nigel, and Nigel was helping me out, and he told me that song. He said, if you're looking for trouble, you came to the right place, which sounded great. I was like, okay, cool, that's cool. And then right before I was going up there to see Lady Gaga, like he told me probably 30 minutes before, and I was doing my makeup.
Oh, wow. So that short a time.
Yeah. So then I listened to it, because I'm evil. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm evil, evil, evil as can be. I'm evil, evil, evil as can be.
When I went in there to Lady Gaga, they made a point for me to, tell her that.
In that white snowscape kind of room. It looked like a...
I blended in. All you could see was my flowers. I had a white dress on with flowers. I looked like a floating head, arms, and a flower.
I was like, is this a green screen? It didn't even look like a real place.
It was the room, the walls, and the floor. Everything is white in that room. It was like walking into a cloud, and Lady Gaga was there. Literally, the floor was like the concrete that ran up into the wall. Like there was a, you know what I mean? Like you see the floor.
Oh, like a...
It was like a dip, gradual, straight. It was weird.
It didn't look real.
You could have ran up the wall. It's kind of cool.
After the show, backstage, when you were talking to the press, you actually came to Haley's defense, which I thought was pretty gutsy of you. This girl can't get a break. Like, she gets critiqued for everything.
Yes. They were so tough on her.
I didn't like it. I thought you were screaming. I thought it was a bad song choice.
I know, dude. When Randy said, I think the first round goes to James, Lauren, and Scotty, and it was just like, he like singled her out.
Randy, who's got to up their game next round?
I think it's a tie between Scotty, James, and Lauren. Round one.
Okay. You could have said like James and Scotty and let me in her, or
Pick
just
two.
pick one.
Or one, yeah.
Two or one, but I felt so sorry for her because if that would have happened to me, I would have been. And it was right before she had to sing again.
Yeah. It looked like women were going to be just picked off one after the next after the next, and suddenly the two of you just...
Then we were ended up in the top three.
I'm not going to say you got in it to win it, but yeah, you made it all the way to the top three, so...
Lord, make me a rainbow. I'll shine down on my mother. She'll know I'm safe with you when she stands under my colors. So
Top 3 week, If I Die Young. I really dug that performance from you, and I almost didn't even notice that you missed the key change.
So the judges said something?
Yeah, I kind of noticed like you looked to be sort of drifting off for a second, but I had to play it back to realize exactly what happened. What did happen there?
I think it was a mixture of a couple of things. There was a key change, obviously, that I missed. And I missed it, I think, because, I was really into the song, and Jimmy was sitting there, and he picked it for me, so I was like, I could, see him. There was, a light on him. And I was like, oh. And he was just smiling, it just kind of, distracted me for a second. In the rehearsals, I had practiced the song on the part where their music goes, dun, 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 dun. Walking upstairs in front of the judges' table, but I never did it with them until dress rehearsal, with people sitting in the chairs.
Right.
And it was awkward, and I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. I don't know if I want to do that. So they took the stairs out right before the actual show, and I don't know if it was because the stairs weren't there. I forgot that the music was changing.
if I die young, lay me down on a bed of roses.
I walked step, 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 step with the music, and it was my way of remembering when to come back in. I don't know what happened. But you live and you learn.
Yeah.
Everyone messes up.
Yeah,
and that same night, Haley fell up the stairs.
Yeah. A lot of heels going on and a lot of steps.
Hey, I had to put my foot down a lot and say that I couldn't wear heels.
Thank you. It's a good note.
Jennifer actually stood up for me a bunch when she saw me walk out in heels. She'd be like, somebody changed that poor girl's shoes, because that's why I started sticking to my cowgirl boots.
We got to hit the finale. The vocal issues, obviously you overcame them, got through it. Doctor on stage in scrubs.
I know that was...
It was he's in scrubs.
I didn't know he was coming out. I was like, okay.
Kind of like a runner with a badly sprained ankle.
But I want to ask you about, maybe it was Memphis, because I thought vocally, again, probably one of your better performances of the season. Were you excited to get that song? I thought Carrie did right by you picking that.
Maybe it was Memphis. Maybe it was Desert Summer Night. Maybe it was you. Maybe it was me, but it sure felt right.
I did not know that song. I mean, I'd heard the hook. Maybe it was Memphis. I downloaded it and I was like, wow, this is a great song. And I learned it, and it had, actually, to be honest, the song, I sang it even better a couple of days before that. There were bigger notes and everything in it. But I had to take them out because it would have been a nightmare.
You had to have something left for Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But it sure felt right. Yeah.
Like My Mother Does. Tell me about that. Tell me about your first encounter with that song. Was it by the time you made the final two, or was it a few weeks before?
No, it was a couple of days before the finale.
Okay.
We were taken into a room with Jimmy and Ian and some of the people who guide us through this whole process. They had a few songs picked out for us. I think there were like 5 for me. I listened to a couple of them and I didn't really like them for me. And I heard that one, I cried. My mom wasn't in there, and I was like, my mom, if she was in here, she would love this one. So they went and got my mama, and she listened to it, and she cried. So I was like, okay, well, I might need to do this song.
Right.
And then I found out that it has actually been done before and released. So that kind of set me back a little bit. And we were in there, I was in there listening to songs for probably 2 hours. And we kept going back and listening to that one, and finally, I was just like, you know what, that's the song I need to do, because it reached out to me, and my mom and I both the first time we heard it, so it must be a sign.
Last question for you. I'm not interested in showmances, but is it weird to be asked a lot about your dating life and your personal life? I just can't imagine how freaky that has to be.
I mean, I never thought people would be asking me if I have a boyfriend on a camera.
What's going on between you two guys?
People ask if you have a boyfriend, if they're interested in you, but now people just ask me because they want to know and they want to be able to write about it, and it's just like, really? But just so you know, I know that you already know, I'm not dating Scotty. I don't have a boyfriend, so I'm too busy for all that.
Maybe people will just start asking you about your music or your record or
Maybe,
something like that.
maybe it'll be focused on what curling iron I use.
Right.
Okay, trivia, as I'm walking out.
All right.
Can you name all of the winners?
Kelly Clarkson, Ruben Studdard, Fantasia Barrino, Carrie Underwood, Taylor Hicks, Jordan Sparks, David Cook, Chris Allen, Lita Wise, Crystal Bowersox, really, and Scotty McCreary.
You didn't say Lauren Alaina, really.
Yeah, there you go.